Okay, things are still going really well. We've confirmed the playoff place already. We're still in March, so that's really, really good. Huzzah. And we've also sitting pretty at the top of the league as well. So, good times all around. Often the fact that we can't renegotiate any contracts because no one wants the amount of money that we're offering them, and we're starting to lose some of our better players to other clubs for the start of next season, which means we're going to have to do a bigger rebuild in the summer than I perhaps wanted to do. Other than that, everything's fine. How we doing, everybody, and welcome to part 4 of this My Career save here on Football Manager 2023 with Dartford. I'm Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, where we're going to be playing Scunthorpe in the FA Trophy and Farnborough in the National League South. And if you're excited to see how those games do, then please leave a like on the video for me and subscribe so you never miss any of the lovely Football Manager content from this face right here. Since you were last with us, everything's been fine in terms of on the pitch. I can't actually remember the last game you guys saw. Wrong button, Stu. It was going to be in January, wasn't it? It was around the Ebbsfleet game, so it was Ebbsfleet and York, I think. I think we played those two, didn't we? We got through against York, and yeah, everything's been pretty good since. We have lost one game in the league against Welling United. Other than that, it's been wins and draws. In fact, it's been wins in the league, actually. We did have a bit of a tough time getting past Oxford City, which is frustrating because they're in the league that we're in. But we eventually did get past them at home, 1-0, thanks to Augustus McGiff, who isn't going to be here next season. I'll get onto that in a moment. And then since then, it's been wins aplenty, including a sneaky formation change. We've changed to a 4-1-3-2. I've not completely committed to it, but in the second to last game that we played, this game right here against Weymouth, we just did not look particularly good. We conceded early on. We just couldn't find a way through them. I changed to this formation. It's one I was considering using anyway, and we blew them away. A quick fire treble, just absolutely wrecked them. We did give away a late goal at the end of the game. It was a free kick. It was a bit of a weird free kick. The keeper just made an absolute hash of it. And that's one thing I will say. Ryan Huddart is a very good goalkeeper most of the time. But every now and then, he'll just kind of push something further in the goal, which is a bit frustrating. But then we used that formation from the start against Hungerford Town. Absolutely blew them away. Yes, we gave away an early penalty. It's an early penalty. It is what it is. We got a few yellow cards as well, but we just turned it on. Again, in that second half, we just had a period where we just absolutely destroyed them. And it is actually looking like a more fluid formation for us. 4-3-3 at times. We just seem to dwell on the ball a little bit. This, we just seem with a few tactical instructions to move the ball on a bit further forward. Now, transfers. Haven't brought anyone else in, as far as I can think of. I think Big Joe was the last player you saw who came in. But we are losing some players at the end of the season. Now, one of them I'm not against, Mycareer. I don't know whether that was already confirmed, actually, the last time I was with you, because we weren't that bothered about him. But he's going to the New Saints. But then we're losing two of our strikers, which is really, really frustrating, because I would have liked to have kept both of them. Pierre Fonkeo, we did suppose that we were going to lose him. Again, I'm not 100% sure whether you guys might have already known about this, possibly, but he is going to be going £825 a week. We cannot afford to renegotiate. A, we don't have enough in the wage budget, as you can see. But B, even if we did, we haven't been able to offer over £450 for a wage, which is really frustrating as he's going. And even more frustrating, Augustus McGiff, who's had a great season for us, really. 12 starts, 10 substitute appearances, 17 goals and an assist. He has been very up and down, but he is a very decent player, and it is frustrating that we're going to be losing him as well. I think there's a couple of other players who are going to be leaving at the end of the season as well, or maybe just one. I think it might just be one, actually. Tom Bonham is going to be leaving on a free transfer. We are currently trying to renegotiate with, I can't remember who it was. We were renegotiating with someone. One of the goalkeepers we've got out on loan, actually. We're trying to renegotiate with him. We tried with Marvin Herschel as well, but he only wanted to renegotiate until the end of this season. That's kind of pointless. We want him, so we've got him for the end of next season as well. So we're going to wait and see if we can go back in for him. But everything's looking good. In the league, we're currently still top, as you would imagine. 8 points clear after 37 games played by all. We have the second top goal scorer in the league in Joe Iachiafano, Big Joe. He's scoring goals for us. It's taken him a little while to properly get up to speed, but in this two-striker formation, he has certainly looked a little bit better, actually. As you can see, I mean, look at that run those last few games. Absolutely destroying teams all on his own. Now, the frustrating thing for us is we do not have access to him in this game against, I don't know who it is. It's against Scunthorpe, isn't it? Yes, it is against Scunthorpe. We don't have access to him in this game. He is cup tied, so we are going to have to go with these guys up front. Speaking of which, let's get to that, shall we? Here is the 11 for the FA Trophy game against Scunthorpe. It is Huddart in goal, Winter, Wassell, Essam and Mundell Smith in defence, Livermore and Downing in the middle with Mingoya and Coulson either side in that kind of weird, kind of almost a stumpy midfield. But both Mingoya and Coulson playing as inverted wingers means they will be cutting inside, and we are looking for overlaps as well. So we're playing out to the fullbacks, who are looking to play it in the middle, and then they're looking for overlaps on the outside. So the wingers and the fullbacks will be able to get wide and do some damage for us, and then they'll be cutting inside as well to add an overload in the box. And that has been what's happening, and it has looked really, really good. It's those guys in the midfield, and McGiff and Funkeu up front. I have no idea how this is going to go. Scunthorpe are a team I don't know a lot about. I mean, I'm aware of who they are, obviously. They're in the National League. They're currently second in the National League, so they are a very good team. Currently managed by Hayden Mullins, of all people. So, let's just see what happens. What will be, will be. I am not too worried if we get knocked out of this game against a team who are the league above us. However, if we can put a good showing in against a team who are looking to get out of the league above us, that'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty special. So, let's see what we can do, shall we? We'll say that one and get as much motivation into the boys as possible, especially the front two. Big Joe has been... 1 minute. Apologies for that. Keep forgetting to change these settings. I like to try and blitz through the games whilst actually still watching what's happening on the pitch. By the way, if you can see my breath at any point, I don't know whether you can. You probably spot the heater in the background. Our boiler's broken, which is not ideal when it's winter. So I'm a little bit chilly, hence the jumper, but I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. I'm just over COVID as well, so I don't think there's any risk of me getting a cold, because in the nicest possible way, I think my system is probably still full of the aftermath of COVID. So if you do see my breath at any point, I don't know. I can see it. I don't know whether you can see it. If you can, apologies. That's the reason why you can see it. I think Scunthorpe are probably going to batter us today, because that was a flowing move. Although it has been disallowed for offside, which is good to see. Good work, that referee. I would like to see us put in a decent performance. We've had a decent amount of chances early on. It would be nice to see us have one of those on a highlight. I don't know how this system's going to work against a team who are in a higher division than us. Obviously, going 2 strikers against a team like this is a bold decision. I don't know whether it's the right decision necessarily. We might switch to the 4-3-3 in the second half just to give us a bit more defensive stability. It might be the wise thing to do, especially as we've gone 1-0 down. And we still have some offensive capability in that system. But again, this is a team who are the league above us. We've done well in this competition against teams who are in the league above us. Let's not be too disheartened if we get knocked out. I mean, they've gone completely into overdrive in the rest of this second half. Apparently, we shouldn't be hitting early crosses. We're just going to go back to the 4-3-3 for this game. I think in the nicest possible way, oh my word, I thought they just scored that. I think the system we've currently got is probably better when we're in the league that we're normally in against those teams. I think against a team in a higher division, even if it is just the National League, no offence National League, yeah, it's probably a bit ambitious really, wasn't it? So we're going to change things around. I think we'll put Funkeo out wide. We'll bring Coulson in the middle, actually, because he can do a job there. We'll have him be the box-to-box, because he can do that job pretty well. Livermore can stay in the ball-winning midfielder. We'll have Dowling continue as an advanced playmaker on attack, because actually that has really suited him at the moment. We're going to bring Jordan Winter off and bring Bowman on. Bowman, we had a bit of a... I think you knew about the falling out we had with him. Some of the players came up and said, you need to start him more, and I actually did back down, and actually, he's been all right. He's not been spectacular, but he's done all right for us. Right, we're going to go back to this system. We're going to change you to support. I'm going to have both of you guys on support, just to offer these guys a bit of protection. I don't want to put them all the way down to here, because I feel like that'll restrict us a bit too much, but then, to be honest, in fact, what I am going to do is I'm going to put us on stay on feet, because they've looked dangerous from set pieces. But we're going to go with that, and we're going to see how we do in the second half. I imagine we're still going to get beat. I can't see us actually winning this game. I don't think we've got it in us to beat them. The GIF has looked pretty shocking. Again, remember, Big Joe has been up front for us, and he's been doing really, really well. So to not have him in this game, and he's been one of our... Oh my word, my Funkeu has gone and equalised. Are we going to get a little pan from the camera? No, we're not. It has been given. We are 1-1. Not having Big Joe, and I'm calling him Big Joe because Yachiafano, I don't know how to say it. Anyone who's watching this video, leave a comment on the video. It would be nice to get some comments going. Let me know how you say that name. Joe Iachiafano, Iachiafano. I don't know. Probably none of those. Just let me know if you do know what a goal that would have been. But because he's been scoring so many goals, McGiff has been kind of a bit part player. And he's only really performed well off the bench. He's been a great substitute to bring on. Starting him, I'm not so confident about, if I'm completely honest. It would be nice to see us not concede another goal, guys, if that's okay. But the way that this movie's shaping up, I'm a little bit concerned. Right. Scunthorpe come again. They're going to try and put us out of our misery, but we're also going to try and continue the run in the cup, in the FA Trophy. Livermore looking for Fonkeu. Fonkeu going to run out wide, beats his man. He tried a cross, it really didn't work, and now it goes back to Dewhurst. Dewhurst, I'm sure, in one of my FM20 or FM21 says, became England's #1 goalkeeper. I'm sure that's the same guy. Sheffield United player, I'm sure that's the same guy. Right, the highlight is still going and they're on the ball, so I think we're about to concede a goal or nick it and go at the other end. I'd like to nick it and go at the other end. Or Hadar is going to make a save, but it's offside anyway, so that's okay. Right, substitute o'clock. We're taking McGiff off. Fonkeu's going up front, and we're going to bring Coulson back out wide, because in the nicest way, he's better out wide. We're going to have them play that way. Are we going to play them that way around? We are going to play them that way around, yes. And we're going to bring on... You know what? We're going to bring on Luke Allen. We're going to bring on Luke Allen, a bit of defensive stability, and we're also going to bring Chris Smith on because Connor Essam, I've just noticed, has had a terrible game. Absolutely awful. Right, let's do that, and let's see whether we can get through. It's the quarter-final as well, so we've done pretty well. Just going to demand a bit more from the boys in the final 10 minutes. This is probably where we concede the goal that's going to put us out of the competition. Right, Bowman to Livermore. Livermore now. Going to try and drive forward? No, goes to Smith instead. Smith now. He's going to dwell on the ball for ages, which, to be fair, I'd rather him do that than just lump it forward, like he has just done. Fonkeu flicks it on. In fact, I don't know if it was Fonkeu or Ellis. I think it might have been Ellis, actually, because Dewhurst hasn't picked it up. He's come out, and he's just passed it to Fonkeu, and Fonkeu's hit the post. And Fonkeu has put us ahead. In a parallel universe, that's England's #1 goalkeeper in the future. And he's just gone and done that. Pierre Fonkeu, in his final season at the club, his first and final season at the club. I mean, I thought he'd stuffed it up here, but fortunately he was the first man to it. Just toe pokes it in the back of the net, and we lead 2-1 against National League second place side Scunthorpe. Now, I don't know whether they've rotated their team. Maybe they have. Maybe their team is full of a bunch of ringers who they don't normally use. I don't know. I thought they'd just equalised, and that would have been heartbreaking. I don't know. Maybe they've just rotated completely. Maybe this is not their normal first team. I'm unsure, but I don't really care. I'm going to take it. And Wassell heads it out for a corner, and we might just be about to do this. And we've done it. We are through to the semi-final of the FA Trophy. And it's another comeback. It's the third game in a row. And not the first run of them this season either, that we have gone and come back and beat a team. Well, that is spectacular. And we're through to the semi-final. Right, who do we play in the semi-final? And when's the draw? Draw's not then. Are we going to get the draw? Or has the draw already happened? The draw might have already happened. Competitions, who have we got? Who have we got? Do we know? It's been drawn on the 13th. So it's been drawn in a couple of days' time. So we might as well hang around and see what that draw is going to look like. We've got the game against Farnborough in a few games. I am going to rest the players for a day. I think they've earned a day off, I think. And we are, of course, going to have Big Joe back for that game as well. So I'm going to very quickly make that change and just quickly move them around. Murtaugh's kind of dropping off a cliff at the moment, so he's not been getting a lot of game time, bless him. We'll worry about the team and stuff when it comes to the game. I mean, Farnborough, we might actually end up using the 4-1-3-2 with Connor Essam as a set to define, so he's going to be out of the next game. Right, let's get to this. Let's get to this draw and let's see who we get in the semi-final. Can we have the draw? There it is. Right, it's time for the draw of the FA Trophy. So it is us, it is Wrexham, it is Altrincham, it is Gateshead. 4 National League teams and us in National League South. Wrexham. I don't know who I'd want. I feel like it's probably not them. And we don't get them. So we get Altrincham. So where are Altrincham in the National League? They are 21st. So they are looking like they're going to get relegated. So we should be of a similar level to them. Now, we've just beaten the second place team in that league. The second place team in that league. We should have enough in us to go past Altrincham and go to a final between Wrexham, who are currently... Where are Wrexham? I've been really... Wrexham are there. And was it Gateshead as well? Was Gateshead the other team? I think Gateshead were the other team. They were. We should be able to beat any of those teams. Any of those teams. I can't speak. I'm so excited. We might win a trophy in the first season. We might win 2. We might win the league and the FA Trophy. Right, before I get ahead of myself, I'm going to extend it next day to get to Farnborough, and we can go and see whether we can extend our lead at the top of the table. It is time for the game against Farnborough in the National League South, and this is the 11 that we're going to be using for this game. It's Huddart in goal, Winter, Wassell, Smith and Mundell-Smith in the defence, Alan Livermore and Dowling in the midfield with Fonkeo and Mingoya supporting Big Joe up front. We are going back to the 4-3-3 because, quite frankly, I don't know. I just don't know. The 4-1-3-2 concerned me a little bit in the last game. I feel like there's a future for that formation, but I feel like it is very specific circumstances. This formation has done us for the majority of the season, so we're just going to go with it, and we're just going to see whether it can, hopefully, do the job for us. We are very good with possession, we are very good with our chances, but there are occasions where, and I have noticed it a few times this season, we will have a lot of chances, but not a lot of them will be on target. It's one of the reasons why, if you've ever seen me take off on the striker, see whether it's currently on there or not. It's not, but sometimes I have shoot less often put on there. It just means that the striker thinks about the chances that they have instead of just going for them first time. It just means that they're going to shoot in an opportunity where they've got more of a chance to put it in the back of the net, or at least get it on target. So I do that sometimes, and it does sometimes seem to help. Now, whether it does or not, I don't know. I mean, it's not on at the moment, and we've gone and scored. Big Joe with the goal, and Fonkeo with the assist. It's a shame we're losing Fonkeo, because he has been superb for us this season out on that wing. But it is difficult to know whether it does work or not. Sometimes it feels like it does, sometimes it feels like it hampers us. But there are times, I mean, funnily enough, it's not happening today. Most of our shots have been on target. There are opportunities. There are occasions where it does happen where we just cannot get a shot on target to save our life. We are still looking at high balls up to the striker, and we do not have a tall striker. And Wassell has just let O'Donkor go in there. And that can't happen. That cannot happen. Our defence just let their player just go through there, and it is very concerning. Right, Big Joe's running on the end of that, but their defender gets onto it, but it's a poor clearance from him. Fonkeo gets on the end of it. Winter did make the overlapping run. He didn't actually take advantage of that, Fonkeo, but Fonkeo is on the ball now in the area, gets it down to Big Joe. Big Joe just hits it at the bottom of the post, and it goes wide, and it is out for a goal kick. We've started off really well in this game. The longer it goes that we're at 1-0 though, the more concerned I will be. I'll be honest with you. The same with 2-0. It's nice to see us score first for a change though, and we do go 2-0 ahead. Is it going to be allowed? I've got a weird feeling it might get disallowed. It hasn't panned over. It's not being disallowed. We have got our second goal, and it's Big Joe and Fonkeo combining again. I am concerned in any game that we don't go 3-0 up in. I just always feel like we've got a defensive howler or a goalkeeping howler. I will say Huddart. I signed him mainly because of his aerial reach. I'll be completely honest. I neglected his shot stopping. His shot stopping's 8. Might be looking for a new goalkeeper in the summer. Big Joe had a great opportunity there, but it is offside. And they're playing really well, Iachiafano and Fonkeo. I'm gonna start trying to say his name and commit to a version of saying it. At the moment, I'm going with Iachiafano or Iachiafano. I can't go between the two. Mingoya with the flick on there to absolutely no one. Saunders is going to try and keep it in. It's kept in, actually. And Turner now gets it to the defender, Hagan, and it's cleared out. But Smith manages to head it down to Allen. Allen to Livermore. Livermore looking for Mingoya, but again, headed down. Turner now gets the ball. And it is going to be Farnborough to try and build again. O'Donkor tries to win the header, but Smith wins it off of him. Livermore goes to Wassell now, and we're going to try and build from the back. We're looking, again, big ball to Iachiafano, but he actually does win the header. And Dowling's in here, and he went for a lovely attempt at the goal. but it just was too high. Hits the crossbar, gets cleared out. We do, however, have a corner. We've got a lot of men in the box, and that does worry me a little bit. It makes me wonder who we've got back. Have we got one man or two man? I think we've only got one man, you know. We do only have one man, and somehow that highlight ends there, and I'm kind of glad that it did, because that could have been a real problem with only one man back. I might have a look at our set piece instructions at half time if that's how it's going to be, because that is a bit of a concern. But we do lead, deservedly, by 2-0, and that will do for me. Okay, I've reset set piece instructions and we've started the second half. For some reason, we either had one person defending, or the people we had defending were one of our fullbacks and one of our wingers. I don't really understand why one of our wingers would be defending in set pieces, but I don't really know. It's definitely not something I've ever personally set up. It's something the game has decided, but none of that matters, because Big Joe himself, Joe Iachiafano, Big Joe, to me and you, he's Big Joe, has gone and scored himself a hat-trick. And you know what? Foncayu might have a hat-trick of assists as well. I think he does. He does! They have 2 hat-tricks. Bless them. They can't do anything separate from one another. And that makes me feel all glowy inside. Happy days. And it is going to be a corner to Farnborough. They're going to try and get one back. Deering going to try and whip it in, looking for the head of someone like Loco. And we defend it awfully, to be honest with you. And it is 1-1. Gaetan O'Donker. O'Donker, was it? I feel like I've just completely butchered his name. No, O'Donker. No, that's correct. Luke Allen to Mark O'Donker. Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do that. It is 3-1. We have got half an hour left in the game to go, which is a bit of a concern. It's a long time, and I don't like the idea that they could get back into the game. Big Joe kind of gets the ball, but kind of doesn't, and we do give them possession now, and what I really don't want is for them to have a spell of possession. However, if they don't do anything with it, I don't really mind. I just don't want them to do something with it. Right, Livermore does really well there. Gets the ball back to Huddart. And we are going to start from the back again. We get ourselves back into the correct shape. Big ball launch forward looking for Dowling. Dowling, if he committed to that run, could have probably got there, but didn't end up committing to it. But he does win the ball back there. And Allen now gets it to Mundle-Smith. Mundle-Smith out wide to Mingoya. Mingoya into Dowling. Dowling runs into the box. Going to try and cross it in. Going to look for Big Joe. He doesn't, because it's a penalty. And Jordan Winter has the chance to make it 4-1. Our right back set piece specialist, I love the fact that we've got one of those in the team, steps up and he doesn't score. Turner makes the save and it is going to be a corner to Dartford. My goodness, what drama in this game. I say drama, we're 3-1 up, but anything could still happen. Right, Winter going to cross it in, look to make amends, looked for the header, Smith couldn't find it. Winter heads it in again, looking for Big Joe, can't find him. Livermore now on the edge of the box, looking for options, whips it in, cannot find anyone. Norville, Williams and Turner nearly getting each other's way, and the highlight ends. We're going to demand more from the team because we've only got a 2-goal advantage. That doesn't necessarily mean a lot. We are going to take Winter off in a minute because in the nicest possible way, he's having a shocking rating, which is unfair because he's not had that bad a game. It's just because it's the way Football Manager works. You miss a penalty, you have a bad rating. I've never really understood that logic because I think sometimes some players can have absolute worldies and have missed penalties as well. But that's how Football Manager wants to football manage. Right, we're going to take Mingoya off. He's not had the best of games. Luke Golson can come on and he's going to be the final change along with Matty Bowman and Kevin Murtagh. Bring those boys on, give them some game time and see whether they can positively influence the game towards the end of it. Allen's going to stay on as defensive midfield. He's done a decent enough job. He's not been spectacular, but he's done a decent enough job. And I think we are seeing this one through here. It is going to be a late highlight. Turner launching it forward, looking to get it to Pendlebury. O'Donker as well, but Mundle-Smith now has it after Chris Smith's header. Coulson now looking for options. Going to drive forward here. Again, Coulson's been one of the standouts this season, but he has dropped off a bit in recent times. I thought for a second Foncayu might sneak in there, but no, it's headed down to Turner, and they are going to go again. Looking for O'Donker, launching it forward, and he's found O'Donker as well. The long ball works, and we just about defend it. Luke Allen manages to do enough to put it out for a late Farnborough corner, but they have no time left. It is the 93rd minute now. This is going to be the last chance of the game. One of the last moves of the game, surely. They are waiting to get it right. They've got so many players in the box. Martin's there, heads it over, and that is the final whistle. And we get through the game. It is 3-1 in the end. A hat-trick from Big Joe. A hat-trick of assists from Foncayu. Winter's penalty not converted, though. But the main thing is we got the win, and I think that's going to put us 10 points clear from what I remember. It is going to put us 10 points clear. Bath City obviously not getting the job done in their game. And we lead by 10 points in the league. And I think it's a 24-team league, isn't it? So that means we've got 46 games. So we have got 8 games left. 8 games into 3 points is 24 points. So we're nowhere near safe yet at all. Got to pat Fonkeo on the head because that was superb. We are nowhere near safe yet in terms of winning the league. We are safe in terms of a playoff place, though. Do we have to play Bath? That's an interesting question, actually. Do we have to play Bath? We do not have to play Bath. Bath, we played ages ago. Beat them, so that's okay. So, looking at this last run of games, we have got, well, number one, we've got a 2-legged semi-final, which I didn't realise. Look at the games we've got. So, we've got Concord, got Chelmsford, we've got Dulwich Hamlet, Altrincham, twice Eastbourne. I mean, we've got an interesting running. Again, I don't know this part of the football world, but to me, there's games we can win there, but there's also some tricky ones there as well. So it is going to be an interesting run. Question is, what do we do? Do we come back for the FA Trophy semi-finals, or do we go straight to the end of the season? I'm kind of tempted to go straight to the end of the season, but I'm also thinking, do we come back for Altrincham, second game, and maybe Dover Athletic, and then we come back for a final period of the season where we play the final game of the season, and then we play the FA Trophy final. I don't know what to do. I'll be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure which of those options I prefer. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to play Altrincham, and we are going to play Dover Athletic. That is going to be the next episode. Then the final episode of this season will either be a doubleheader against St Albans and Hampton and Richmond, or it will be Hampton and Richmond and the FA Trophy final. That sounds like a good plan to me. And fingers crossed, that is the version that we get. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, again, please leave a like on the video for me and subscribe so you never miss any of the lovely Football Manager content that's to come in the future from the channel. I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.